The NBA playoffs do start in the next couple of weeks, so on today's show, I wanted to answer your questions about the Boston Celtics, how they're looking in the regular season, what do they need to do to go back-to-back, and could there possibly be a blockbuster trade later this offseason? We're going to break that down here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and thank you to everybody that has hit that sub button on Celtics Today. I really appreciate it, but it doesn't stop there. We are so close to a huge milestone of 50,000 subscribers. We need 700 more to reach 48K, and then we keep going. So go on ahead, hit that sub button for me if you guys haven't already. All right, let's kick this off here with the first question coming in from Nicholas. Celtics, in the last few conference finals, it wasn't the first against the second. Which underdog can make the loudest noise in the playoffs? I'm really going to focus on the Eastern Conference here because obviously that does pertain to the Celtics other than the finals. And I'm going to go with the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons defense is extremely good. And they've given the Boston Celtics a tough time in their matchups this season. Cade Cunningham up for most improved player this season. I do think the Detroit Pistons could make a splash, especially since they are ranked the top 6 seed right now in the Eastern Conference. I think another team that's kind of falling off while it matters is the New York Knicks. You know, obviously the health of Jalen Brunson does matter for the Knicks to be able to handle the Boston Celtics or the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series. But I think the Pistons can go toe-to-toe with the Celtics and the Cavs in a 7-game series. Do I think the Pistons can win and beat Boston in a 7-game series? No. But it's going to be tough, and that would be a tough opponent for the Boston Celtics to try and compete against for multiple games and then move on to the next round. They're very scrappy, they're very tough, and they have a lot riding on their shoulders. Another question coming in from Judy Boy. Do you think Baylor can replace Sam Hauser for a rotation spot, or a trade for Sam will do? Of course, the Boston Celtics are facing penalties this year if they do go over the second apron, and we do have a new owner, so there could be some changes with the roster this upcoming offseason. But Baylor Scheierman, holy cow, he has made a name for himself as a rookie on the best team in the NBA. And unfortunately for Sam Hauser, his main ability is to catch and shoot three-point shots. And it's really gone up and down this year. I understand he's probably not going to always be above 40%, but Scheierman has come in and affected the Boston Celtics in a positive way on offense and on defense, the same way Sam Hauser has for the last couple of years. I could see a little bit of a competition going on in the offseason if they are both still on the roster. But still, this could possibly open up a trade scenario for Sam Hauser, knowing Baylor Scheierman is very good. He's a lot cheaper than Hauser as well, and I think with a sharp three-point shooter like Sam, you could get a little bit more back than you probably got for Sam Hauser in the first place. So that's going to be a really interesting storyline to follow this entire offseason. Tiela Bella, I am so sorry if I'm saying your first name wrong. Do you think that the Cavs and the Thunder will affect the Celtics' chances of winning the finals? And are you concerned about JT's injury? So the first part of this question is, number one, I do think it is going to be tough for Boston to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, face the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series, beat Cleveland, and then possibly go face the OKC Thunder. That is going to be a very long stretch for Boston, especially because we do have a couple of injuries already lingering, like Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown with his knee and his hip flexor, Drew Holiday with his mallet finger, Kristaps Porzingis still recovering from bronchitis, and Al Horford. He's not injured, he's just old. So when you do think of possibly playing the Cavs and then the Thunder, that is going to really push Boston to its limits. That's why the first 2 rounds, whoever you play, you need to beat them as quickly as possible and save as much energy as you can to take on the Cavs in what I could see going to 7 games. In what we've seen in the regular season, this has been a great matchup. And we do need the Western Conference to possibly take down the Thunder or make them a little bit more tired heading into the finals. We do not want a 4-game sweep for the Thunder throughout the Western Conference Finals to reach the playoffs. I am not concerned about Jayson Tatum's injury. I do think he does take pretty good care of himself, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it moving forward. Are you worried about Jayson Tatum's injury? As you guys know, he did tweak his ankle a little bit against Sacramento Kings. He says it's fine, just sore. Go ahead and scale it 1 to 10. 1 as in I'm not worried. It's Tatum. He's unstoppable. 10 as in you have nightmares about Jayson Tatum landing on Sabonis' foot and hitting the floor. We do have more questions to answer, but first, let me go ahead and tell you guys real quick about our sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys want to go ahead and test out your skills at daily fantasy sports and win some money while you do it, then Prize Picks is the app for you. It's super easy to play. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You guys can also play it in more than 30 states, including Cali, Texas, and Georgia. And Prize Picks is the best way to win cash while watching sports by joining over 10 million users when you sign up today. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Download the app today and use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Shar coming in with the next question here. Hey, Allie, what teams in the East and West will the Celtics have challenges in the playoffs or the finals? So obviously, we are focused on the OKC Thunder. I do think that is going to be the finals opponent for the Western Conference. You could have a Los Angeles Lakers or somebody try and pull through in the West, but overall, I think it will be the Thunder that's going to give the Celtics the biggest concern for the NBA championship. Now, the Eastern Conference, like I said in the beginning of this video, the Detroit Pistons could be somebody, the Pacers. You also have the Bucks. You've got the Knicks. But obviously, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been the team to beat in the East. So I do want the Boston Celtics to take this last stretch of the regular season with a little bit of a grain of salt. You know, obviously, you want to win, but you also want to make sure you are fully rested, fully healthy to take on round 1, round 2, and then possibly an Eastern Conference Finals opponent like the Cleveland Cavaliers. Another question. Remove Celtics blackout, saying, what do you think the finals matchup will be? My prediction, my crystal ball, unfortunately, is going to have Boston winning in 7 games against Cleveland. I think it is going to take until the very end to knock off a healthy Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, Mobley, Allen, and a healthy Boston to be able to do so. Best case scenario, they win in 6. But knowing that Cleveland may have home court advantage, that could be a little tough because Cleveland is the best team at home this year. And then I do think the finals matchup is going to be the OKC Thunder versus the Boston Celtics. After they get through in 6 or 7 games against the Cavs, they will go play Chet Holmgren, SGA, who could be the MVP this year as well, and try to go back-to-back. It's not going to be easy, but it is 110% doable. And our last question here, actually 2 more questions. Michael Waycaster, if the C's stay healthy, there is no team in the league that can win a best of 7. I completely agree, but that's the key word. They have to be healthy. And they have not been healthy from January to April. We have only seen 22 games with our starting 5 of KP, Drew, Derek, Jaylen Brown, and Jayson Tatum. So we need to really work on the month of April, making sure that, yes, we're getting our starters repetition, but we're also keeping them healthy. I don't want them in a 20-point lead playing, the freaking Hornets having Jayson Tatum in. That's when I'll start to lose it. But, Joe Mazzulla, he's a basketball psycho, so we need to make sure we're keeping our team healthy. Last question coming in here, is KD really coming? I want to go with no. I just think I don't see how it's financially possible to bring Kevin Durant without literally sending away Brown, Holiday, maybe White, maybe Porzingis draft picks, keeping Tatum and adding a guy like Kevin Durant who's $56 million a year. I just don't see it. I also don't see Kevin Durant doing what he just did with the Golden State Warriors and being claimed a snake throughout the NBA because he went from OKC to the Golden State Warriors because they were a dynasty, because they were winning. I don't know if he would do the same thing and do that with Boston, knowing all the hate that he did get. So that'll be a little bit tough to see what happens in the offseason. Brad Stevens has made crazier moves, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's a rumor right now. But obviously, if anything happens, we'll talk about it right here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'll ask you guys, do you want Kevin Durant to come to Boston? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I want to go with no. It sounds crazy, I know, because it's KD, right? But it just seems like it would be a lot to get a guy like Kevin Durant in the green. So let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Celtics Today by Chat Sports for your latest update around your favorite NBA team. If you guys haven't already, go on ahead and hit that sub button.